our quarter at 95 miles per hour. The brakes are even more impressive. We averaged 102 feet from 60 with no fade, no dive, no drama. Here, pedal feel is excellent. All that and it still delivers improved government fuel economy rating. 28 city, 38 highway, and 32 combined on premium. SI trim may not come as feature-packed as some might like, but then pricing starts at just $24,775 for both sedan and coupe. Clearly, the base Civic has come a long way in recent years, yet Honda has managed to take the 2017 Civic Si even further. Yes, it is the best SI yet. Still, as with many things new and improved, they lose a little soul along the way. But don't judge this SI until you drive it. And we'll bet that if you love your current SI, you'll want this one even more. Well, that's our show. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, for more Motor Week, including daily news updates, podcasts, and even complete episodes, cruise on over to pbs.org/motorweek. And I hope you'll join us next time for more of every kind of performance in the Porsche 911 GTS. Then it's a new luxurious look for the Buick Encore. Till then, I'm John Davis. We'll see you right here on Motor Week.
To learn more about Motor Week, television's original automotive magazine, visit pbs.org/motorweek. This program was produced by Maryland Public Television, which is solely responsible for its content.
When National Parks traveler Micah Meyer visited Everglades National Park, he says he got a good idea of what southern Florida looked like before it was developed.
Everglades was really fascinating because it's this huge section of land when compared to a lot of national parks. I mean, it takes up like the entire southwestern corner of Florida. Essentially, before human interaction, everything south of Orlando looked like the Everglades.
On the raised boardwalk of the Anhinga Trail, Micah had unparalleled views of what's called the River of Grass.
It's a marshland with a bunch of trees, and so there's all these birds everywhere that make it their home. We saw terrapin turtles. There's gators, sunning on the banks. Easily the most amount of wildlife I've seen in one place at one time.
Another highlight for Micah and his travel companion Angie Waldron was wading through knee-deep water and mud on a hike called a sluice log.
It sounds gross, it sounds horrible, but it was one of the most fun things I've done in a national park yet. You start out and you slog through the mud.
How is it, Andy?
Muddy. And then eventually you get to the water. It feels like you're on another planet, like you're in an episode of Star Trek.
In another part of the park, they had an exhilarating ride through the famous southern Florida wetlands on an airboat, courtesy of his guide Ozzy from Everglades Nature Tours.
I think what made this so special is that our guide had grown up in this area, and he knew it like the back of his hands.
Hey, Mama Gator, how you doing? Ooh, she ain't happy.
And so he took us out on this airboat into the middle of, they call it a river of grass. And right away he takes us to the spot that he knows about where there's always a mama gator, which basically she's warning us, like, my babies are here, don't mess with me or I'm going to get really angry. And then, sure enough, we look around and we saw like 8 different baby alligators.
Ozzy also showed Micah and Andy some of the area's plant life.
Has all the nutrients that you need to survive out here. You can't live on it, but you can survive on it.
He shows us, they call it sawgrass, because if you pull your arm against it one way, it won't hurt you at all. But if you go the other way, it'll cut your skin because it's got like little saw ridges on it.
My favorite tool that we used it for was to cut the umbilical cords on the babies.
Micah, who's on a mission to visit all of the more than 400 sites within the National Park Service, says his adventure on a boat tour at the edge of the Everglades captured the wonder of his wetlands experience.
We had heard that oftentimes you can see dolphins on this tour, and it delivered. It was so cool. It's such a rare treat to see something in the wild and not in a zoo or not on TV or not in a National Geographic magazine. This was real. It was real life.
Julie Tabo, VOA News, Washington.
Hi, I'm Sarah Gardner. When you're raising produce that makes its way to your dinner table, you've got to act fast. We'll take you to Michigan to show you how getting that green from the farm to your fork is an extended family affair.
It's something farmers know all too well. If you're going to work with the land, you're going to get your hands dirty. Now, not generally said about gourmet chefs, but Alabama chef Chris Hastings knows all about getting his hands dirty down on the farm. He's connecting farmers and food lovers one delicious dish at a time.
I'm Yolanda Vasquez. We're heading for Maryland to introduce you to a young farmer who's taking a very direct approach in getting his products to the dinner tables of consumers. It's all coming up on America's Heartland.
You can see it in the eyes of every woman and man in America's heartland, living close to the land. There's a love for the country and a pride in the brand in America's heartland, living close to the land.
As Americans try to eat healthier, produce plays a larger role in our diets. But if you've ever tried to grow a garden, you know how perishable produce can be. And for one Michigan farm family, that means moving fast to get the crops from their field onto your fork.
Calling the Rulig farm a family affair is an understatement. As the eldest son, Robert, takes produce orders from distributors in Detroit, his mom, Roseanne, and younger sister, Tammy, ready fresh vegetables for delivery to wholesale markets and grocery chains.
I now have 2 girls and 2 boys, and all 4 of the family members are all involved in agriculture. Zucchini has been one of the better crops that we've grown this year.
Dad, Dave Rulig, is a 4th-generation farmer. He began working this land in the southeast corner of Michigan back in 1970. As the Rulig family grew, so did the farm. The family tapped into consumer demands from regional supermarkets for produce that could go from field to store almost overnight. Today, the family, along with hundreds of workers, grows a multitude of crops.
Well, we start off raising yellow summer and zucchini squash, and then we get into cucumbers. We do a lot of the cool weather crops like cabbage and broccoli and cauliflower, watermelons, muskmelons, sweet corn.
Each family member oversees a different aspect of the farming operation. Youngest son Jason is prepping the fields with drip